Good morning, everybody! Welcome to another edition of Jake and Justin in the Morning. This is our season finale. Hope you're all doing well. Please welcome our special guest on for the third time, the first three-time guest in the history of the show, Robbie Finizio. Robbie, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Hey, come on, hold the applause. Come on, it's good to be back on again for the third time. I'm gonna have to get a T-shirt now. But I think if you're a three-time member, you should be able to get a T-shirt. I'm gonna apply for that. That's my opinion. But it's great to be back on the show again.
Yeah, we'll look into that. Robbie, what'd you have for Breck?
Kept it simple. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Justin, what'd you have for Breck?
What did I have for Breck? I mean, I had to get up early, had to go to class. So I had a brunch. I had brunch today. Had a margarita grilled cheese from 63's. Freaking fire.
What?
A margarita grilled cheese. Don't knock it till you try it. No, it's not like the alcohol, Jake. It's not like the alcohol.
Yeah, he didn't say margarita and grilled cheese. It's a margarita.
No, I didn't say margarita and grilled cheese. No, it's basically a grilled cheese, but instead of American cheese, it's made with mozzarella. It's really, really good. And then I had some pasta salad with it, and then a mandarin and blueberry salad as well. Because I got to get that brain moving for criminal justice. Obviously, okay, I can't complain with my brunch or whatever it was.
I had plain bagel with cream cheese and my multigrain Cheerios.
All right. Well, let's get started. So first off, Antonio Brown once again likes to do stupid stuff after he left the Pittsburgh Steelers. This time he's now being accused of having a fake vaccination card. That's right. And ladies and gentlemen, we all thought Aaron Rodgers was bad. And Antonio Brown has somehow managed to once again outdo himself. Robbie, your take on this?
So this is an interesting thing because I feel like for a while, like Antonio Brown had us fooled that he's not just a crazy person, that he's just not out of his mind. Because he goes to the Buccaneers, he plays well, he wins a Super Bowl. It's kind of like this almost comeback story. But we forget that the just complete crazy team events that happened 2 years ago with the Raiders and the Patriots, and then he gets released. All of that. I think he likes the attention. But again, this is a situation where I was looking into it. It looks legit. I definitely believe it. Now the fact that they just suspended them for 3 games means that there obviously some truth to this. Because at first I was kind of skeptical. But now that I know it's probably legit, very irresponsible of Antonio Brown. At least with Aaron Rodgers, he kind of tried to be try to charisma. He's like, oh, I'm immunized, to try to shake it up. But he just went for the fake vaccination card. Really not good, not a good reflection for himself. And I think I agree with the 3 game suspension. I think it's a good move. It's not a good look for Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Antonio Brown is just a stupid and arrogant individual. Okay, he was starting to almost be on the right track. A lot of the things that he did in the past, besides obviously the crimes he committed, he had the sexual harassment allegations. He had a couple of them. He had the thing where he he beat up the truck driver or something. He had that. Obviously, that was just pathetic. And then obviously the way he exited the Steelers was terrible. But then he said Ben Roethlisberger was washed, and then and now look at it. He was right. He said John Gruden no good. He was right about that too. So. So he was kind of right about everything in that sense, but and since he got to Tampa, he hasn't really done anything over the top. He had a training camp a year or two ago. He had this past before the season, he had a fight but training camp fights happen every year. That wasn't that big of a deal. He said one or two small things like, all right. But this is just pathetic. Come on, dude. Like, come on, man. I mean, I don't agree with him not being vaccinated, but if he wasn't, that's his choice, But at least tell the truth. Don't use a fake vaccination card, dude. Do you ever think the NFL, who, when it comes to like background checks, they look up your butt, basically? We're gonna find out that your vax card is fake. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Just stupid, and also, and he's hurting his team because he's one of the team's best wide receivers for a team that's competing for a Super Bowl. And now, I mean, he's been hurt the last 2 weeks, but it looked like he was, at least somewhat close to coming back, and now they have to wait at least 3 more weeks because he's suspended. He's a stupid individual.
Look, the issue with this is that it's like, yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown. What more do I have to say? He is an idiot because first the nervous breakdown about the helmet, and now this is even worse than that because he was just making a fool of himself there. Now he's just doing the same thing, except, I mean, in some instances, this is almost a crime. I mean, this is fraud he committed. And all I'm going to say is this, and this is not the Jet fan in me talking. It is just an avid NFL watcher in me talking. If he wasn't on a team with Tom Brady, he'd be out of the league. I'm just saying. Tom, no matter what happens, Tom Brady always wins. You commit fraud like that, you get suspended 3 games? Really? What's that going to do for the Buccaneers? I'm going to spoil it for you guys right now. It's not going to do that much. If you get rid of him, then they'd be a little screwed. But I think it's smart for him to get punished. But I feel like once again, a Tom Brady associated player is getting away with something that if he was on another team probably wouldn't get away with. Absolute BS.
I just want to add that I don't understand how a professional organization like the NFL is not more on top of like who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated. How did they not know about Aaron Rodgers' situation? You're like
because it's run by Roger Goodell, Robbie.
I mean it's ridiculous to me. I don't understand.
I mean, I expect so little from this commissioner because he's just so bad. I think at this point, Adam Silver should become the commissioner of the NFL, NBA, and MLB.
Definitely MLB.
At least he's shown competence. As for the MLB, we'll get onto that later in the show. But for now, speaking of Goodell, Thanksgiving came around. I hope everybody had some nice. What did you guys have for Thanksgiving, by the way? Let's talk about this first.
Oh, I had a very nice turkey. I had some baked. I had some. Sorry about Justin's reaction. I think my fan just stopped playing for some reason. I had some nice baked mac and cheese. I had some nice garlic knots. Had a lot of family over. It was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat turkey. I had turkey, some sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, green beans, some broccoli and cheddar, very good. Some pumpkin pie. Really, all the classics really came out on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I had some classics, like I had the turkey, I had it with stuffing inside. I had some candied yams, the sweet potatoes, the marshmallows on top. My grandma made her corn puddings, freaking delicious. Some broccoli casserole, then some regular stuffing, and then of course, I busted out the pies as well. But it was very, very good. But just let me set the scene for you guys here for this topic. Imagine having your family over. You're having a great time with Thanksgiving. You got there kind of at maybe 12 o'clock, waiting waiting for the turkey to cook. And on your TV, you see Roger Goodell, and he says, "Happy Thanksgiving. Here's Lions Bears. Here's the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions." Let's talk about this game, because what was the score? 16-13 Bears, right? It was something like that.
16-14. Bears went on a game-winning.
Yeah, they won a game-winning, 20-yard field goal.
Real convincing win against an
11
team.
Yeah, against an 0-11 team. Yeah. So Jake, we'll start with you. What did you think about this? What do I call it? Sequence event? Because it wasn't a game. I'll say that it was. I don't know what it was, but Jake, what did you think about that game?
I thought it was garbage. I mean, I don't know why Roger Goodell thought that let's have the Lions and the Bears play a game against each other. I don't know why he made that a matchup. I don't know why he thought Jared Goff versus Andy Dalton was going to be good. A coaching matchup of Matt Nagy versus Dan Campbell. You got one guy who's just a certified idiot. The guy probably prays every night that he doesn't get fired. And you got this other guy who his first press conference says we're gonna bite the other team's kneecap off, and then proceeds to call back-to-back timeouts to cost his team a 5-yard penalty, which cost his team the game, to drop his team to 0-10-1 on the season, by far the worst record in the NFL. Why that was a good matchup. So I thought it was a terrible booking decision on the NFL's part. The Detroit Lions need to be taken off of Thanksgiving. They are the worst franchise in the NFL. As bad as a franchise of the New York Jets are, as bad as that franchise is run, Detroit Lions are worse. The Detroit Lions have not won a playoff game in over 20 years. Okay? They are an absolute joke of a franchise. The last time they won a playoff game, I think, was 1992, maybe. Or 1991. It is absolutely just terrible. Just terrible. They need to be taken off Thanksgiving. There's no reason they should be playing on Thanksgiving every year when they are literally the worst franchise in NFL history.
Yeah, so I guess it must be like tradition that the Lions play on this day. Like that is whatever, the NFL wants to do with it. I think it's actually funny. So I guess now that the Browns are kind of like a competent team, like they got so much heat for being the worst team in the NFL. They had the 0-16 season. I think people were forgetting the Lions, like you just said, hadn't won a playoff game since like 92. People didn't realize that because they were so worried about the Browns and the Jets. Those teams were the ones getting hated on. But then you forget that the Lions probably haven't touched the NFC North title in like years. So I think that's funny. This matchup, for a lot of reasons, it was actually kind of a big deal because for the Bears and Nagy, like right before this game, their GM had said he's out, he's done. And then after, I think in the press conference, he said that no, that wasn't true. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. Regardless of that, not really sure why the Bears have kept Nagy around this long to begin with. Dan Campbell's a different situation. It's his first season, so I'm sure he might be out after this as well. But just the fact that the Bears won this game by 2 points is like genuinely embarrassing. Not to say that the Lions have had very close games this season. I believe like 4 or 5 were within 2-3 points. But this was a really, really bad game. Followed up by a good game with the Cowboys and the Raiders, but this was a really bad first window game for Thanksgiving.
I was embarrassed. I had guests over. My grandpa's a huge football fan. I was embarrassed to watch this game. It was terrible. It was just terrible. And you see, I rooted for the Lions this game because number one, they're an underdog team, and number two, I knew for certain that if the Lions were to win, Matt Nagy was fired. I knew he was going to go. after that, because he's been on the hot seat for weeks. But for some reason, Ryan Pace is stupid enough to never fire him because for some apparent reason, the Bears just don't want to win a football game. And here's the thing. I actually didn't think Andy Dalton played that bad. I think he played well. Granted, his opposition was the Lions, but I thought it was still a pretty good game. I even think Jared Goff actually played pretty well as well compared because after all that Bears defense is being carried by Khalil Mack, who is just, I don't care what you guys think about the Bears. He is an extraordinary player and needs to get out of that franchise. And I thought for a second when the third quarter came, I'm like, this is it. Lions are going to win a game for like, since the first time in like 2 years. They're gonna figure out. They're gonna finally get it. Matt Nagy's finally gonna go, and then the NFL can slowly start to become stable. And all of a sudden, I see Dan Campbell call a timeout. I'm like, okay, why the hell? The clock's your friend. Why are you calling a timeout? And then he calls another timeout again. And then gives the Bears 5 yards, and Matt Nagy, because I can remember there were like 20 seconds left. Matt and Nagy still hasn't called a timeout yet, and he calls it right at the last second. I thought for a second he would be the guy to be stupid enough to forget to forget about the clock and lose that game, but he didn't. And I'm very disappointed. And I don't mind the Lions playing because it is like Thanksgiving tradition. And we did get a good game of Cowboys Raiders afterwards, but I mean, Lions Bears, really, it was just so painful to watch Dan Campbell just throw away the most, I would argue, the most winnable game of their season.
Yeah. That was such a bad game, and the Bears are clearly so poorly coached. I don't care that they won. If I was the Bears ownership, I would not have let Matt Nagy get to the locker room. I would have, when they were lining up for the field goal, I would have went down to the end of the tunnel. As he was entering the tunnel, I would tell him, Matt, say what you want to say to your players, then pack your bags because you're fired. He should have been fired in the tunnel, not even in the locker room. In the tunnel, I would have fired him. He is a joke and an embarrassment. I feel bad. Honestly, I feel bad for Matt Nagy's family. I feel bad for his family. He is a disgrace. He is a moron, and he is just dumb. Get this guy out of here. I would have fired him in the tunnel.
Wow, Jake, tell us how you really feel. Jeez. Just embarrassed for his family. All right. Okay, so recently, next year's comes another part of the NFL. Recently, Cam Newton has made his return to the Carolina Panthers because Sam Darnold got injured for the 40th time of his career. Probably got mono again. And Cam Newton in his game, in the recent game he played on Sunday, had a 5.8 passer rating. Let me just say this. I once played in men as Tress Way, the punter for the Washington football team, and I had a higher passer rating than Cam Newton did. Granted, it's men, but still. Robbie, was it a smart move to bring Cam back to Carolina?
Well, it's a tough one because of the fact that the Panthers put a lot into expecting that Sam Darnold was probably going to get 14 to 16 games out of them this season, which they maybe shouldn't have expected that considering how injury prone he is. But when Darnold goes down, you're left with really the option of PJ Walker, the backup, who they gave him a couple games, who did nothing special, or you sign someone free agent. So I guess they decided, listen, we're familiar with Cam. Wasn't really promising in New England. So that's why I feel like that was why I'm not really sure why they thought that bringing him back would have fixed anything, considering the scheme of the Panthers is very different than when he had left 2-3 years ago. So I'm not sure why they didn't expect that this was going to happen. But again, they don't have many options. So now at this point of the season, with McCaffrey out for the season, now you just can do a player eval on Newton for the rest of the season and see how it goes, because really now the Panthers, in the spot they're in right now in the season, they really just want to evaluate Cam Newton, see if they can ride him out to the end of the season, and then if not, then you talk about PJ Walker stepping up. But obviously kind of a head scratcher of a decision to bring him back.
I did not agree with them bringing him back. Like you said, Robbie, he obviously played in Carolina for 10 years, and he did have some success. He didn't have as much success as people give him. I mean, he actually only had 3 winning seasons in 10 years. You know, he had that one MVP season where he was in the Super Bowl. Besides that, the other 9 seasons, 7 of them, they had a losing record. So I think he's a bit of an overrated player, and he was absolutely horrendous in New England. I think they felt, all right, yes, is he going to be anything close to his MVP season? Absolutely not. We don't need him to be. You know, he had no weapons in New England. You're like, all right, we give him a superstar running back, Christian McCaffrey. We give him 2 good receivers and Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. He'll be at least be serviceable. And, you know, in the NFC wild card was wide open. I think the last wild card right now is is Washington, and they're what? 5-7, 5-6, 6-6. So they figured, all right, if Cam can even play 500, that might be good enough to get us into the playoffs. But last game he went 5 of 21 with 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. The guy's career is over. Okay, these design run quarterbacks, pretty much all of them, they take too many hits. Okay, they take too many hits. Michael Vick, obviously, he's a little different because his career was interrupted because he was in prison. But even at the end, when he was with the Eagles, he was still a great player, and he probably would have had a few more really good years if he hadn't had all the injuries that those last few years with the Eagles. And look at Cam. The guy went from he was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Overnight was, this injury-prone garbage quarterback. So, and like you said, Robbie, completely different coaching staff is there in Carolina. Ron Rivera is not there anymore. All the offensive staff that was there over the years, none of those guys are there anymore. It's not even, it's a completely different management. The general manager's different, even the front office. So the guys that drafted them are no longer there. I didn't really understand it. I know Sam Darnold, by the way, he's proven he is not a franchise quarterback. So it was not just a Jets problem. It looks like and also he's injured and might be out for the season. And PJ Walker is not an enticing option. He's shown that he is nothing more than just maybe an okay backup at most. At least he's a guy who's been with the team for 2 years and been participating in all the team activities, not only during the season, not only before the season, but in the offseason. You got a guy like Cam Newton, who, has not been part of an NFL team since the end of preseason. So for the last 3 months had been doing nothing. I mean, maybe he was doing, workouts on his own just, to stay ready in case a team came calling, because obviously the team came calling. I assume he would pick up and sign a contract. I mean, he just wants a team at this point. But he was not doing any sort of NFL activities for 3 months. At least PJ Walker has been doing NFL activities for, the last year and a half. Because that's how long he's been in the NFL. So I would rather have PJ Walker than Cam Newton just because of that.
Cam is, I don't think bringing back Cam Newton was a smart move. Here's the thing: when he first started, here's the thing: I think he's obnoxious. I'm not a fan of him, but I know talent when I see it. Back in the day, he was talented. He was a really, really good quarterback. And yeah, he made it to the Super Bowl, lost to Wash Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 50. But then he gets injured. And then after that, it was just a downward spiral. Like, he goes to the Patriots and plays, I don't know. Can we even call that football? Was he even playing football? I don't even know. And then he goes back to Carolina, but I would consider him to be one of the biggest what could have beens in NFL history, because I'm telling you, if he didn't get injured, he would still be on Carolina. He wouldn't be moving back and playing this bad. But I think he needs a bit of an ego check. And I think he needs to realize that his time's kind of up. I mean, he's made a lot of money off his career. He coined one of the greatest moves to ever exist in the 21st century, the dab. I think he proved enough for himself. I know he didn't get the ring that he wanted, but at this point, he needs to look at what's best for his health and also what's best for teams. Because if he's going to constantly play like this with this 5.8 passer rating, 5 of 25, I just leave. Moving on, Robbie. Talk to me, buddy. Jason Garrett, offensive coordinator. Fired. Just gone. Robbie, good move?
100%. He was never a good coach in Dallas. I don't know what the hell he was doing on our sideline. It doesn't make any sense why he was there. The play call was atrocious. It was very 3-and-out friendly, very punt friendly play calling. I'll take a couple examples for you, right? So Jason Garrett, they would run this play. It was like a jet sweep, right? They would give it to their tight end, Evan Ingram. Now, the problem is that we have an offensive line that can't block. So what would happen is you would hand it off to Ingram off the jet sweep, and he would be met right by a lineman, -3 yards every time. I've seen that play ran like maybe 8-10 times in this season and last. So there's so much physical evidence that his play calling really just did not fit anything that the Giants were about. And obviously, you talk about Saquon Barkley. He was hurt last year, but he comes back this year, and it's like he's not really doing much because of the fact that one, offensive line is not catered to him well, and you're calling plays where he's just getting eaten up by the defensive line. So Garrett was not in any way trying to adjust at all to what the Giants were doing, what was working, what was not working. And clearly, Joe Judge threw him under the bus a bunch of times for bad games. So clearly Judge wanted him out too. And that might have been Judge trying to cover his own job as well, which we'll see at the end of the season where he's at. But overall, he did not fit the scheme. The players, I mean, Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay do not have touchdowns to this point. I believe it. I don't think either of them have touchdowns yet. But our fullback has a touchdown, which makes no sense to me. We paid these guys so much money, and they're not even getting the ball. And it's not an Odell Beckham issue where Baker's not throwing the ball to him. It's a matter of we're not even getting the opportunity to throw the ball because we're 3rd and out. Our defense is tired. Our offense is struggling, and we're losing games because we're just not capitalizing. So great move. Freddie Kitchens comes in and we win against the Eagles. I don't know if the play calling was really that related to it, but nonetheless, I want to see how the rest of the season pans out, but definitely a good move to get him out. It was much needed.
Okay. First of all, to all the listeners, the reason that Justin and I were clapping because Jason Garrett was gone, we were not necessarily applauding the move. It was just because Jason Garrett is always clapping. The man is always clapping. When he got fired, he was probably like, fired, yeah. I bet you if you saw the coach of the Cowboys last year, when Dak Prescott's ankle was facing the opposite direction, he would have been like, you okay, Dak? You okay? You all right? Like, the guy is the most overrated coach in NFL history. in 10 years as a head coach of the Cowboys, he was in the playoffs 3 times, and he never made it past the divisional rounds. And here he is clapping, and he goes to the Giants to be the offensive coordinator, and he was so bad that after a year and a half he was gone. And look, this is how many videos we have this guy clapping. There is just hours and hours of footage of this guy just clapping. Oh, we couldn't win the NFC East. Oh yeah. I don't even think it's like, oh yeah, it just he has this thing where he just claps. It's like someone his family passes away. He's just clapping. Like, dude, like, it's terrible, but I see that happen. Like, dude, stop clapping. Like, put your hands in your pockets. Not everything is happy, Jason Garrett, but in all seriousness, definitely a good move. He was terrible. He's a terrible coach. He should not get a job somewhere else ever again. Good move by the Giants. I think he'll be the first of many to go. I think Joe Judge is going to go after the year. Gettleman, we'll get to him later. The quarterback, Jones, is gone. I think I would trade Saquon Barkley this offseason. He's just not the same player. You know, Kenny Galladay was not a good free agent signing. Tony was a good pick, but they should have taken an offensive lineman. The O-line needs to be completely replenished. The entire staff should go. The Giants need to reset.
All right. I have my own thoughts about this. Do I think it was a good move? Yes. Do I think the Giants' success, or should I say lack thereof, is entirely his fault on the offensive end? No. Because here's the thing. I cannot blame Jason Garrett for Daniel Jones being absolutely garbage. During the last year during the Eagles game, when Daniel Jones is running and then trips over, I'm not going to blame Jason Garrett for that. I'm not going to blame Jason Garrett for Saquon always getting injured every time he takes a step. Nor am I going to blame him for Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney just being trash cans. What I will blame him for is the poor play calling. Definitely. You can really tell when Daniel Jones is calling the plays and when Jason Garrett is calling the plays. Because when Daniel Jones is calling the plays, they most of the time win. That's all I'm saying. I've never seen Jason Garrett call a play where they've actually won. It's just no, he's not a good coach. He's not going to be picked up. I saw a meme once that scared the hell out of me because I thought it was true. There was a meme to where Adam Schefter tweeted out that according to Gettleman, if Matt Nagy got fired, he was going to become the Giants offensive coordinator. And the issue was that I was scared, but I also wasn't surprised because it would be something that Gettleman would do. Get him out as well, please. I do think the Giants need to start from square one at this point. I go back and forth with Joe Judge staying or not. Most likely, I'd feel the best option would be for him to leave. But I think they need to, if they need to take a year off from play, just to make something happen, by all means, I'd watch it. I'd see it. But round of applause one more time for Jason Garrett. Clap one out for the boys.
Also, just want to point out that Jason Garrett had 4 winning seasons, and he's 2-3 in the postseason.
Nice.
That is
nice.
terrible.
Nice.
For a head, that is terrible. I'll just say that.
That is just absolutely horrible. Moving on. I have some. So if nobody's heard right now, this just came out yesterday. Major League Baseball is currently in the middle of a lockout. They just started a lockout for the first time since 1970? It's been a long time. So, Jake, let's start with you. Walk us through it. Walk us through this lockout. This is big. It really is.
Yes, this is a lot larger than people think. So actually, the first lockout since 1994, 1995. It's been a very, very long time since. By the way, for those of you not sure about the term, a lockout is equivalent to like for someone who has a normal job, they were to go on strike. So those of you like obviously non-professional athletes who have normal jobs, if the employees go on strike, it's the same exact thing for the professional athletes to be locked out. So there are no player transactions could happen for players on the 40-man roster. So free agency right now, which was booming, is now all of a sudden paused. There are reports have come out that this has been brewing for about 5 years. The CBA, well, the reason that the lockout happened because the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, expired, and then the MLB basically had a day to renegotiate. So the players met with the players and their representatives met with the league. They met for 7 minutes, and then the league told them, this meeting is over. We will see you tomorrow. There will be a lockout. So they're not on the greatest terms right now. Okay. And for the main reasons for the lockout, well, there's a bunch of things that the players union and the league don't agree on. A expanded playoff is something that MLB is kind of exploring. We saw a glimpse of it in the COVID shortened season 2020 that they had I think they had 16 teams. They won't go that far, but I think both sides are fine with expansion, but I think one side wants 12 teams, the other side wants 14 teams. There's been a proposal that the one team would get a bye and the other teams could the other two division winners would pick their opponent. I mean, what is this? The Little League parade? I don't think that's a good idea. It's not a Little League parade. Don't do that. The whole thing of extra inning, let's put a guy on second base. What is this, T-ball? No. So I think that they'll probably talk about that. Universal DH, something that's been talked about for years and years and years. Some guys want it, some guys don't. Well, I'm actually surprised that they haven't put it in yet. My guess is they'll probably be put in next year. We'll see. That'll be something they'll discuss. So there's a lot of things that just the MLB players union and the league couldn't come to agreement on within 24 hours. So that being said, Rob Manfred is an absolute moron. He is the worst commissioner ever. As bad as Roger Goodell is, Manfred is 10 times worse. He is stupid. He is terrible. He is just bad. And by the way, the head of the players union, Tony Clark, is just terrible. The players union in the MLB is a complete joke. It always has been. And just they need to sort some things out because this has been brewing for so long, and you clearly that they're not on the best terms. You had the players and the league, they tried to meet to see if they could somehow avoid this lockout. And after 7 minutes, the league said this meeting is over. We'll see you tomorrow. A new CBA will be negotiated. So honestly, I think this could take a couple of months. I think we could be looking at 2.5 months of just pain and just, a lot of negotiating, a lot of going back and forth, a lot of rich people just arguing about, money. Yes, I said that. Yeah, rich people arguing about money. I don't know how it's possible, but that's basically what's going to be happening. So, yeah, this is probably going to be a lot more painful than people think. So grab your popcorn and put your seatbelts on.
To put it in perspective too, because like you said, Jake, the last lockout was 94. Went 7 months. That went 7 months. It started excellent. It went.
You said money. I had to bring them up.
As you should. What was I saying? I was saying that the 94 lockout was 7 months. It started in August, the middle of the season, canceled that season, delayed the next season. Like you said, it could be 2 or 3 months, but who's to really know? And now I think like you said, the reason is that there's so many new things the MLB is trying to get to kind of, speed the game up, make it more enticing to fans because, the NFL takes so much of the fans from MLB to the NFL, just because it's a little more exciting. It's more fast driven, fast paced. Extra innings too, like that. That's another thing I'm sure they probably had to talk about and revamp that. The playoffs probably is definitely the most important part. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens and what teams do in terms of trading and stuff like that, because now everything's going to stop. That's going to be very interesting as well to see how that plays out in a couple months.
I'm just gonna ask this for you guys right now. Is it all Manfred's fault? Now, you guys gotta think about it real quick. Because I don't like Rob Manfred. Jake, I know you don't like Rob Manfred. I'm gonna come to a general consensus that everyone in the MLB, every MLB fan does not like Rob Manfred. But can we put all of the blame on just this one guy?
I think you can put at least 90% of it because.
Well, that's basically everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you put it this way, you think the main reason that they need more than a day to talk about the CBA was because there's concerns over the expanded playoff format. Who is the guy who has been teasing this? He teased it in 2020 and decided let's not do it in 2021. And I was like, all right, now let's do 12 or 14 team. That's Manfred. Who is the guy that's been saying for like 5 years a University H is coming, and 5 years later we're still waiting? Manfred. Who is the guy that decided let's start a runner on second base in extra innings for no freaking reason at all? Manfred. Who is the guy that decided whenever there's a double header, we're gonna make each game 7 innings and not 9 innings?
Was it Goodell?
As far as I know, my sources have told me Manfred. So yes, we can blame it all on Manfred. The players' union in baseball it's never been strong. I think it's a slight issue. Maybe the other 10% is kind of them. I think they could have fought a little more. But also the players' union has just always been weak in baseball. It just always has been. And put it, if there was a different commissioner in place in MLB, at the very least, even if there was a lockout, it would be one of those kind of things like, all right, there'll be a lockout, but in a couple of weeks we'll be fine. But because of how incompetent Manfred is, we're like, now all of a sudden the season might be delayed.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, last time I checked, like, baseball players want to play baseball. Like, I don't think that they want this lockout. They don't want to be pushing everything back 2, 3, 4, 5 months. They want to play. They want to get paid. That's part of their job. It's part of their love for the sport. That's what they want to do. It's on Manfred completely. You have to blame the commissioner with any kind of lockdown delay. Anytime a team needs to be punished for something, or for a cheating scandal or something like that, that's where you blame the commissioner. So 100% you had to put the blame on Manfred, and you have to hope that they get this figured out as quickly as possible.
All right. Let me give my little opinion here. I'm going to say I love baseball. I love the sport. Me not playing, I'm not good at it, but that doesn't mean I can't like it. Not playing Little League was one of the biggest regrets I've ever had, because it just looked like so much fun. And I just didn't play it. And I've always, for as long as I've been on this podcast, people tend to know that, I don't really follow the MLB as much as Jake does, or Robbie, or any of our other guests that hop on here. But, you'll see me at any Little League game in River Edge rooting for the team. I'll go to any farm game. But let me tell you something. You want to know why I don't follow the MLB? Because the MLB sucks. The organization of it sucks. I'm not saying the players are bad. I don't care if the teams are bad. I know the Pittsburgh Pirates suck. But I'm talking about the league itself is just not good. Because, and I'm just going to give one reason in particular. there needs to be some kind of they need to speed up the pitching process. They really do, because they'll take like 40 seconds to pitch this ball. Be ready. Look at your catcher. See the throw the damn ball. It should probably take you 15 seconds. But the problem is, I feel like there's no real incentive to not do that. You get what I'm saying? I feel that the issue with the game is that it's too slow. And that's actually what I find is now the issue with the NFL as well, who also has just as bad of a commissioner. I would argue worse in some instances, because games are slowing down. That's the thing. And when they slow down, they get more boring to watch. And yeah, I can't help but blame Rob Manfred on that. Do I think all of this is his fault? Considering he's under do I consider all of this is his fault? The whole lockout thing. Well, considering he kind of is the umbrella over everything. Kind of. Yeah, I do think. I think he is a very, very big piece of it. However, I feel that the Players Association also needs to come to a consensus. That's not him. That's the players. I'm not sure who's the president of the Players Association for the MLB. I know them for the NBA and for the NFL, but not for MLB so much. But Manfred's another one who's just gotta go, really, because he's just not good, and I really am concerned that the season is going to get delayed, as you said, Jake, because of this, because it's looking ugly. It's not looking like this little thing to where it's going to be, people are probably going to get over it in a day or two. No, it's going to be bad. This is not going to be enjoyable at all, but I certainly will say it's going to be pretty funny, because something's going to happen to where I'm just going to laugh at this. Like the season's going to get delayed until like All-Star break. You're going to be in the heat of the summer and it's going to be out. And then everyone's just going to look at Manfred and be like, F you, man. Really? That's what it's going to be. Anyway, though, enough talking about Rob Manfred being a garbage commissioner. Let's switch over to the NBA. The Phoenix Suns. Yeah, that's right, guys. We're talking about the Phoenix Suns, because back in the day, they used to be not a very, very good team. This is the same team where Devin Booker dropped 70 points against the Celtics and lost. But now the Suns are currently on a not 1, not 2, not 10, not 15, but 17 game win streak, and they just beat the Warriors off it when Devin Booker was injured. Jake, are we looking right now? Are we looking at a Suns team that can actually win the finals?
1,000% yes. They were my finals pick, my finals winners pick at the beginning of the season. They absolutely can. They're a very well coached team with Monty Williams. They're second in coach of the year award last year, besides Tom Thibodeau with the Knicks, rightfully so. Clearly learned from his mistakes that he made in New Orleans, where he was a coach for 5 years. And I remember when he got fired, I didn't really think he should have gotten fired. I didn't think he was great in 5 years, but also he coached the Pelicans. Like, the Pelicans are terrible. What else do you expect? Like, he took them to the playoffs a couple times. And they've had like 3 head coaches since then, and their star player looks like a nose tackle in the NFL, and he's got apparently he has this injury. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Anyway, I thought he did a okay job in New Orleans. Got let go, and by the way, he's been through a lot. As soon as he was fired, he took an assistant head coaching job in Philly. His wife tragically died in a car accident. Like, pretty shortly after he got fired from New Orleans, he was assistant somewhere. He took a leave of absence for like a year or two, and a couple of years ago, he came back to the NBA as an assistant somewhere. I think eventually he got an assistant job with Philly or someone, a contender like that. And then, a couple of years ago, Phoenix head coach job opened. He ended up being a hot candidate because he was an assistant on a contender. And I guess he made an impact on the players that he was with. So he's a respected guy around the league. This guy who's got head coaching experience, coached in the playoffs before, and the Phoenix gave him a 5-year deal. And clearly it's worked out because he took them to the final, a team that, we thought would be all right, a 6, 7, 8 seed, to the 2 seed and to the finals. And they were 2 wins away from a championship last year. And now they're the best team in basketball, and they have a great team. Chris Paul, he has not performed well in the playoffs, but he is such a great player. 36 years old, can still score, great passer, incredible leader everywhere he's gone. Seems like everywhere he goes, he comes to a team where they're a bad team. They're like almost basically in the rebuilding process. And it's just like, all right, that's great, but he's one guy, and they somehow are, a serious playoff contender. Since he left the Hornets, what the heck have they done? He goes to the Clippers, who were a train wreck. He turned them into a championship contender. When he went to the Thunder, I thought the Thunder were going to be a lottery team, but they took the Rockets to Game 7 in the first round. They took James Harden to Game 7 in the first round that year. And then he goes to the Suns, who were a horrendous team. Although we thought, all right, because they got Devin Booker and they have a lot of young talent, they might make the playoffs. He took them to the finals. Helped take them to the finals. And now all of a sudden, they've won 17 straight games, and they're 18-3. They're what, probably the best team in basketball in it right now. Another finals run looks like it's in the cards. You got Devin Booker, it's probably the best backcourt in the league. You got Mikal Bridges, who's a great player, who's a decent scorer, really good defender. You got Cameron Johnson who can shoot the lights out. DeAndre Ayton's a great rim protector. You got Cameron Payne's a really good bench scorer. You have Jay Crowder, the LeBron James impersonator. This is a really good basketball team that came in. This is a team that came in. You could argue top 5 in the league, and they've looked even better than expected. And they're already expected to probably be a top 5 team in the league. So they were my finals pick at the beginning of the season, and I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, when you win 17 games in a row, you definitely make a convincing argument to at least be a playoff team, make a deep run. But I also think they've had convincing wins. Like, I'll highlight the game they just played against the Warriors. I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, everybody contributes. It's a very well-rounded team overall with Paul and Booker and Crowder. They really do have a lot to offer. The other interesting fact I will put at you is that their franchise record is 17 straight wins, which they set in 2006. So a win would break the record. So cool stuff for Phoenix. Again, my finals pick was the Knicks. Probably shouldn't even stick with that. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing at this point of the season, to be honest. I'll keep it, but yeah.
I mean, I'm very, very happy for the Suns. I really am. I think they will be a finals contender, especially with 17, as you said, Robbie, convincing wins. These weren't wins to where, if you look at their strength of schedule, you could say that they didn't deserve that like if they played any other team, they wouldn't win. But they have played a lot of elite teams this year, a lot of teams that are playoff favorites and have proven themselves in a very good fashion. And let me just get this out of the way first. I am tickled pink that the Warriors lost because I hate these Warriors fans. I do. Hate's a strong word. I hate them. They are so annoying. Every single time they win, they just jump on the bandwagon. I'm like, we're winning the finals, baby. Let's go. No. If Steph Curry is not your scoring leader, you lose. Just saying. Mikal Bridges destroyed him on the defensive end. Kept him to only 12 points. It was an impressive win. And yes, we always highlight that big three of Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton, and Jay Crowder as well, to add that to four. But we also need to look even more in depth at some of those bench players like Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, Dario Saric. These are some players to where, just because you haven't really heard their names as much in a conversation doesn't mean they're not good players, because they are really something else. My only concern right now for the Suns is I don't know if they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna win the whole thing if Devin Booker is out for a while. Like, this could be because I know they've been playing very well, but losing Devin Booker is not a small issue at all. It's probably your biggest issue, without a doubt, because I know how great of a player Chris Paul is, but Devin Booker is by far their best player. So that's all I'm really concerned about there. Hopefully he recovers quickly, because I would love to see that team win, because I also want Charles Barkley to lose his mind on the TNT desk. If they win, he's going to go crazy. He is probably Steve Nash will too. He's coaching a different team. He'll probably go nuts if they win. Same thing with Stoudemire and Mike D'Antoni, all in the Nets, but all did something involving the Suns. So good luck to them, really, because I'm very happy for them. They were a real underdog team, but now it's not them anymore. Now we can look at the Pistons and say that they're garbage. All right. Anyway, Jake, you got to pull up our power rankings, man. Before we go for the winter semester, we got to update these things. Really? Like, what moves are we making?
All right, so this is what we got. Let's take a look. This is definitely a little outdated. We got to make some changes. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the Phoenix Suns in first place. I'm sure we can all agree. Okay. Let's scooch everyone down a notch. All right, so obviously we need to make some significant changes to the power ranking. I guess we'll just go around and we'll make our changes. Justin, you go first. What change do you want me to make?
I think you should move the Bulls to number 3. Bulls have been playing really well. Do I think DeMar DeRozan's an MVP candidate? Hell no. You guys are delusional if you think that, but nonetheless, they are playing exceptional. They have been playing the best basketballs from them since I've seen in like 10 years, really. After D Rose and Butler left, it was just kind of downhill there. But that's my first move. Robbie, what do you think needs to be moved?
Probably got to bring the Wizards up, I'd assume. They've had a decent November. They are at the top of the division. I would definitely give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, maybe like top 10 at least, right?
I would say top 10, yeah.
Slide everyone down, because the Wizards, we only had them at 21st, because in the beginning, that's a team that we're like, they're not gonna keep this up, and maybe they aren't as en fuego as they were before, but this is a good basketball team. I mean that's why I think Russell Westbrook is so overrated. He's with the Thunder. As soon as Durant and Harden leave, that team could barely get in the playoffs, and then he leaves. And then the first year he leaves, they were 5th in the West. But he goes to the Thunder, or went to the Rockets, excuse me, and they got to the playoffs. He had a great regular season, but in the playoffs, he was absolutely horrendous. If somebody else was there, Houston might have had a championship run that year. Then he's like, I don't want to be here either. Like, dude, can you make up your mind? Stop requesting a trade. Like, well, what else do you want? Or then he goes to the Lakers, And I know we've been moving teams up. I'm going to move a team down. The Lakers are a terrible basketball team. LeBron James is not the same player. Anthony Davis is having a horrendous year shooting the basketball. He is struggling shooting the basketball. And Russell Westbrook has been absolutely horrible. He's been a train wreck. Like, the guy's airballed like layups. Like, dude, stop. Just stop. Yeah, he missed a triple double in what? In like steals, assists, and turnovers. Like, dude, stop. So the Lakers, they are going to be lowered.
Just a quick stat for everybody here. There have been 14 quadruple doubles in NBA history, and those would be points, rebounds, assists, and turnovers. Russell Westbrook has 6 of them. Just saying. Russell Westbrook has 6.
In NBA history?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So
I did
Westbrook
not know
has
that.
6.
I thought you were talking about that. Wow.
All right. So I guess it's my turn. All right. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Can you go back up? There's a team that I want to vouch for here that I think could go up probably 2 places. Actually, no. Stop there. Hold on. The Hornets need to go up. It's wrong to say that the Lakers are better than the Hornets right now. That's just wrong. I would probably make them better than, I'd say they're better than the Blazers. I'd say, look, I'm convinced that they're actually better than the Kings. They're a good team. Miles Bridges, LaMelo. I don't like the Ball brothers at all, but LeVar Ball is an obnoxious weirdo. But LaMelo is really proving himself. And then he's also got players like Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier, who's having monster games. And I think this looks good. I think it's good to put them up there.
Yeah, they're only 2 games out of the division, so I definitely could call them like a top 15, 20 team. I don't see anything wrong with that. I definitely think they're on the up at this point of the season.
Okay, one more. Wait, I gotta move a player down. Hold on. Mom, I know you're watching this, and I'm sorry. Jake, please move the Miami Heat down to 5th. Switch the Warriors and the Heat, please. I think Warriors deserve to be 2nd because they are still number 2 in the league. And then Jake, you got to look at your Knicks, man. Like, do you think they still deserve to be in 7th right now?
I'm gonna put them a little bit lower than that. I'll put them probably back here.
Probably back here. Okay. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, they just lost to the Nets, so you gotta put them lower than them. And yeah, I'll put them there.
There's just so many. There's so many teams that just have either been exceeding expectations or not meeting expectations. Like, I think the bottom 15 is fine. I don't think there's really any issue with that, but where's the Nets compared to the Bucks? I think we should flip the Nets and the Jazz, to be honest. Like, I think the Nets are at least a top 5 team. They're looking like a top 5 team right now. James Harden remembered how to play basketball. And I don't think the Nuggets are playing so awesome. Like, I think they're playing all right, but I don't think they're playing fantastic. Yeah. That's, you see how it looks a bit better, right?
I think that looks better just in terms of the way the season is trending. And I feel like that's what you got to go for with the power rankings. I just feel like like the Nets are on the rise, as where like the Nuggets may have started out better, but are probably looking more to the dip of the season more so than like the Nets or the Bucks right now.
All right. But anyway, it's we're gone for the semester. Usually Christmas is coming up. So I got to be a little more positive, right? So now it's time to play You Love to See It.
We got the holidays coming up, so we thought, we'll lighten the mood.
Yeah, so basically, it's basically very similar to You Hate to See It, but instead of this, we're going to show a clip that's relatively more positive, or it's more positive, and we're going to rate 1 out of 10 how much we love to see it. So, 1, you don't really love to see it. 10, you love to see that happen. So, Jake, get us started.
All right. Let's share my. I'll save that in a minute. All right, so I might.
You're muted. Yo, you're muted.
No. Anyway, so I know Justin said earlier how he does not like the Warriors fans. I don't like them either. So, Justin, how much do you love to see the Phoenix Suns, without Devin Booker for a lot of the game, beat the Warriors 104-96 for a 17th straight win? They're now the best team in the NBA.
200 out of 10. I love to see it. I love to see it. Warriors fans, kiss my ass. There, I said it. I wanted to piss off every single Warriors fan. If Steph Curry's in the scoring leader, Steph Curry's in the scoring leader, you guys suck. Get destroyed by the Suns, down Devin Booker for a majority of the game. 200 out of 10. I love to see it.
How could you not love to see it though? I feel like how could you not like to see the team like the Warriors lose? Like there's just such a root against team, like because they've literally won so much. How could you not? And especially now because they're actually doing good, and you see the Suns come up against them like without Booker and win. Like you really can't beat that. I'll give this a 10 out of 10. This is a great win in the NBA.
Definitely a 10 out of 10. It's good to see a team like the Suns, who were bad for a while now, looking like an elite team. Last year they were second in the West, were in the finals, like we said, and now they have won 17 straight games. And any good team they played, they've beat. Golden State, came in 18-2, and they beat them without Devin Booker. They played the Brooklyn Nets, who a lot of people say coming into the year we're the finals, we're the title favorite. I think they're first in the East right now. They beat them, and they beat Dallas, they beat Denver, they've beaten. Oh, look at the teams they've played, they've beaten, and they've cruised past the teams that aren't that good. Well, all the bottom tier teams. So good for them, 10 out of 10. All right, this is something that, ethically isn't that good, but for me, it makes me very happy, and it should make the both of you very happy as well. Dave Gettleman is not expected to return as the New York Giants general manager in 2022. Justin, how much do you love to see it?
Christmas came early, boys. Christmas has come early. 2022 out of 10. I love to see it. I don't know what more I have to say. One of the worst GMs I've ever seen in New York sports. I would say one of the worst GMs, if not the worst, in the NFL. Probably followed by Ryan Pace. What more can I say more than what we've already said before? He just doesn't know how to draft. He doesn't know how to coexist in the Giants front office properly. 2022 out of 10. It's a beauty. It really is.
This is a nice 100 out of 10 for me. 100%. This says a lot about the Giants when the fan base is actually excited about the GM, a member of the team organization being fired, that this is something we celebrate. But at the end of the season, this is going to be awesome if it's true, which I really, really believe it is this year. I know Giants fans say it every year. Get rid of Gettleman, get rid of the system, restart, Gettleman's got to go. I hear it every year. And I think this year is Fish. This has got to be it. This is so exciting. Yep, 100 out of 10.
That is a 20 out of 10 for me. Dave Gettleman is a pompous ass. He is just pathetic to society. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Screw you, Gettleman. Bye, Gettleman. Love to see it. All right, so my next clip is a bit of a surprise. So, as you guys know, most sports teams, they have jerseys, of course. But Justin is on the esports team. So he did not, unfortunately, because of how new esports is and how new the team is, he did not have jerseys. So, but now that he does, this guy is getting a jersey. Justin, how much do you hate this? How much do you love to see it?
Oh God, who is this dashing man doing T-posing due to the Halo Infinite theme? It's me. That's right. 7,000 out of 10. Really love to see it. I mean, it's been a tough season. It really has. We played against some teams that have been really, really difficult, and they've kind of brought us down a little bit, but then we came back, and we came in third overall in esports. And also as another note, I did not start off playing that well either. I literally changed my role in the game mid-season, and it ended up working quite well. Don't want to praise myself at all for this, but I gotta, I think the team did really well, and I'm glad we're all getting a jersey for it. So 7,000 out of 10. Really, really enjoy seeing that.
I'm just gonna give 10 out of 10 for the T-pose, 10 out of 10 for the fit, and just 100 out of 10 overall photo. They need to get you guys jerseys. It needs to happen ASAP. You guys represent the school. Do you guys know what it's gonna look like yet?
I mean, here's the thing. As of I got it recently. I think I know I took a picture of it somewhere. I'm not really sure though where the picture is.
Okay.
But I do know I have it. I will say that.
Very cool. Absolutely.
If I find it, I will definitely share my screen. I know I got a lot of pictures that I take over the entire time, but this is big. Oh yeah, here it is. I got it.
Yeah, let's see it.
So this is cool. This is cool. Yeah, so that's my jersey. Obviously it's got the shoe on it. For people that don't know, this is what my gamer tag is. It's J Baby. I changed the A to a 9. The reason why I did that, the reason why I chose that name in particular was because when I was in TV production in high school, there were 2 Justins in the class. And apparently I was a bit of a charmer, so they called me J Baby. So I take that as an utmost compliment. I will wear this all the time. I will never take this off ever. When I get to work, I know I have a uniform, so I'll wear it underneath, just so I could represent. But it's a great feeling, really.
All right, that's all I have for I love to see it.
I have clips.
Oh, Justin's got some clips. All right, Justin.
Of course,
you're
I
right.
have clips. Why would I not have clips for this? Seriously, I am no newbie. All right, let's start with this one. LaMelo Ball. So here we go. Classic Rockets move. Bricks the basket. Eric Gordon. Miles Bridges bringing it up. Ready? Flips it over. Hands it over to LaMelo. Drives inside. Gets the charge. It's in. It goes. What a beautiful layup from LaMelo Ball. N1. Robbie, how much you love to see it?
Great play there. He's use his body there to sacrifice a little bit of his body for the team there. You love to see that. That's a quick little 20 out of 10 for me. I love when a player gets, gritty, gets inside the paint, isn't afraid to make a play when he sees the opportunity. Great play, 20 out of 10.
I'll say a 10. I'll say a 10 out of 10. That was an incredible play by LaMelo. He's a very talented young player. Probably should have been number 1 last year. He was number 3 pick. Probably should have been number 1. Look at this. He's like he gets like trucked over. He runs into that big wall of a player they ran and still makes it 10 out of 10. What a layup. He is a great player.
Yeah. I mean, what more could you even say about this guy? 10 out of 10. What a move. What a finish. What a star. 10 out of 10. Love to see it. Now, Jake, this clip is from the Hawks. Now, just please remember. Now, just because it's the Hawks doesn't mean this clip isn't amazing. Because at the end of the day, Jake, I will warn you right now, it has nothing to do with Trae Young. So there we go. Here we go. So, Cavs. So we have Cavs. John Collins slams it down. Let's see that again because it was just so quick. Pass over. John Collins posterizes Jarrett Allen, just slams it down onto him. What a legend, really. Let's get this in slow motion real quick. I cannot do this in slow motion. I haven't done this in a while. It's my time. Look at this. Beautiful pass from Cooper. Thrown up over the afro. Perfect with authority. Jake, how much do you love to see it?
As a Knicks fan, I hate the Hawks, but 10 out of 10. Oh my goodness. John Collins. That man has a family. Oh my goodness. That was insane. He's got a couple of these. First of all, John Collins is an outstanding player, but he's got like 2 or 3 absolutely monster posterizers. He had one in the playoffs last year, and this guy has some hops. 10 out of 10, I love to see it. That was insane. Trae Young, get your hideous face off my screen.
Yeah, this is definitely a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is just the kind of play that makes the NBA exciting, makes you want to watch it, really entices the audience. I mean, the crowd's going wild. I mean, I wish I could have seen that live and just seen my reaction. I would have been going crazy. I mean, that's unbelievable. The fact that he's literally gets on top of him, elevates to a level that I don't even think if I had a trampoline I could get to. And he's doing that with just his shoes on. Unbelievable 10 out of 10 dunk.
I mean, 20 out of 10. Let me just give me a quick second. You see that face? That's the face of somebody who just destroyed a man's career. He freaking, as it says from those sides, just destroyed Allen with the mean poster.
Meme
he
this.
Really did.
Meme this.
Yeah, meme this. my face when Bears versus Lions is on. There we go. 20 out of 10. Love to see it. Now, I know for a fact, I know for a fact that this clip everyone is going to love to see because it involves Derrick Rose. So obviously we need to go over 10 on this because Derrick Rose doing something is obviously a 10 out of 10. But watch this little turn back the clock move from him. So he goes inside, baseline, beautiful reverse layup from the Bucks. It's only 8 seconds, but it's 8 seconds of something of remembering the past of Derrick Rose. Let me just get in slow-mo here just to show how good this was. So one dribble, just jumps, puts the hops on around. Great play. Robbie, how much you love to see it?
I mean, that's just classic retro rookie season Derrick Rose right there. What a move by Derrick Rose on that play. I mean, just such great awareness around the net. I mean, you have to give that the 20 out of 20, whatever you want to call it. As a 20 out of 10, it's a great play. So awesome to see that for Derrick Rose.
That's gonna be a 25 out of 10 for me. He just fits perfectly on this Knicks team. What a journey this guy has had. You know, came up in Chicago, was Rookie of the Year, was MVP of the league, looked like the next big thing, maybe even the next LeBron, and then has had so many knee injuries that didn't cost him his whole career, but probably cost him a Hall of Fame career. And his last couple years in Chicago wasn't nearly as good. He goes to the Knicks. Played pretty well. Knicks decided not to re-sign him. He goes to Cleveland and just looked completely out of place. He goes to Minnesota, doesn't look any better. Looked like his career was over. Then he goes to Detroit. He was like, oh, he's a bench player on Detroit. You've got to be kidding me. Whatever happened to this guy? And then all of a sudden, he's a 6th man of the year candidate. You're like, wait a minute, this guy can still play. And then he gets traded back to the Knicks at the trade deadline last year. And he looks like a completely different player. He fits with this Knicks team. He fits in Tom Thibodeau's system. It's his 3rd stint with the guy. In Chicago, in Minnesota, and now back in New York. So it's good to see him playing really good basketball. He's still a very good player. Still an excellent second point guard. Could be a decent starter on a different team, and you'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 75 out of 10 for NBA's 75th season. I mean, how could you not love to see it? Because yes, you couldn't have said it better, Jake. Considering the amount of injuries this guy's had, you never ever think you'd see that move from him ever again. So it's almost a nice little comeback thing to show that unfortunately we will never get that prime D Rose again. Because if we did, he probably would never have left the Knicks. He probably would have a couple of rings on his fingers. But what more can I say? 75 out of 10. Really, really love to see it. Robbie, it's time for our athlete of the week, but we're going to start with you first. Who's your athlete of the week, my friend?
So, yeah, I did some thinking. I'm going to give this to Leonard Fournette from the Bucks. 4 touchdowns on Sunday. Very respectable performance from a guy who, last year had a big, playoff Lenny. He stepped it up, that 2-back system in Tampa has worked so well. And with Ronald Jones getting less reps, getting hurt, stepped it up. 44 points in fantasy. 44 points. Should kiss that man. Unbelievable. That's my athlete of the week.
Well, here's the thing. We would usually do Jake and Justin's athlete of the week. However, last week we had a wheel choose for us. And guess what? We're doing it again. Jake has a wheel for me for me. I got a wheel for him. Jake, start off with yours. I guess I got to give my athlete of the week. I got to give my athlete of the week first. Show me who you got.
All right. So,
don't make this easy for me now. Don't make this easy for me to praise a player.
All right. So, I got to share my screen first. Okay. And there we are. So we got 8 options. You might be able to see a few. I'm going to click spin, and here we go. Here we go. Jonathan Taylor.
All right. Jonathan Taylor. Congratulations for being my athlete of the week. He monster game on the Colts, really. Absolutely monster game. Really, really good. Good for him. I really can't say anything more. He killed it. He played just so damn well. Oh my God. But good job for being my athlete of the week. Obviously, I chose this 100%. You're my athlete of the week. Good job. Jake, you made it a little bit too easy for me, man. Now I feel a little bad for the one I'm about to give you to spin.
That's all right. Here were the other options you had. The other options were Max Scherzer just signed up the biggest contract in NBA history with the Mets. Brian Kelly for just having the courage to say, I'm tired of my Notre Dame team just losing big games. I'm gonna go to LSU and I'll lose some big games at LSU instead of Notre Dame. So good job, Brian Kelly. Phoenix Suns for winning 17 in a row. The Mets, because they've killed free agency so far. They brought in Sterling Marte, really good center fielder. They signed Edward Escobar, good third baseman. Marcana is another good outfielder, and they got Scherzer. Now they have the best rotation duo in the league of him and DeGrom. The Texas Rangers have decided whatever money we have, we're going to spend it. They spent $175 million on Marcus Semien. They spent another $325 million on Corey Seager, and they spent $56 million on John Gray. Taylor, Alvin Gentry, apparently he's a head coach again. Why? I have no idea, but why not? And Nikola Jokic's brothers. Congratulations for not killing Markieff Morris. I'm surprised they didn't. They went to the rematch, and they did not cause a ruckus. Congratulations.
Right. Well, Jake, like I said, I feel so bad because, you made it you made it too easy for me. I'm just saying. Because, we're looking at this right now, and all I'm saying is it's not going to be easy for you, my friend. It's just not.
I'm up for the challenge.
Okay, so let's first go over what we have. You only have 4 choices given twice. You have Jim Dolan, Matt Nagy, Rob Manfred, and the Morris brothers. Are you ready to take the spin?
Not really.
Too bad. Come on. Yes! Yes!
Oh, yeah.
He did it. Take a deep breath. Breathe. Think about it for a second. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy for you. Whenever you're ready.
Matt Nagy, congratulations on being a disgrace to society, and congratulations for keeping your job. In about, let's say, 5 weeks, you will be jobless. Congratulations.
Yeah, good job, Matt Nagy. So also, I guess I have to explain this here. We have Jim Dolan for being Cablevision, for being the guy from Cablevision, who's figured out who's trying to cover the spread every single time the Rangers play a game. Matt Nagy, we have Rob Manfred for being, a terrible commissioner, but or for making the tactical play of having a lockout. And then we have the Morris brothers, which fits very nice to the Jokic brothers because Marcus and Markieff just can't stop getting ejected. So that's always good for them. But anyway, that's going to wrap us up for the semester. We will be back in January, I'd say, mid-January, late January. But first of all, shout out to Robbie for being our third guest twice in one semester.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love coming on here, guys. Anytime you need me, just let me know. It's always
of course. You know what? At some point you might just be permanent. Who knows? We might have to start making an arrangement. But
as long as I get a T-shirt, that's all that matters.
Of course.
As long as I get a T-shirt.
We'll see what our parents can do. But anyway, from the bottom of our hearts, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. Happy holidays. I hope you guys get some nice gifts, have a nice dinner. Just happy, safe holidays from us. And, once again, Jake and I really trying to put ourselves out there here with these podcasts, and we really appreciate you tuning in every week to listen to Jake and Justin in the morning. So we will be back in mid-January at some point. But from that point, we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Happy holidays.